Adulting has been a phrase that's come about over the last couple of years about that transition from being a teenager to an adult and all the roles and responsibilities that come with that. And so we're creating a video series called Cards Life 101 to look at some of those things that will help you become a good, responsible adult. We're here at the Bank of Fayetteville branch in Farmington to talk about how to set up a checking and savings account. So let's go and talk to some of the great people here. Okay, so we're here with Sonja Coker from the Bank of Fayetteville. And Sonja, could you just walk through some of the basic steps of how to open up an account?
Okay, so you would come in here with 2 forms of ID. That way we can get you put in our system. You would bring an opening deposit. That way you can make a first deposit to open that account up. We would go over the types of accounts we have. We have checkings and savings, whichever one you're thinking you're wanting. There's options for online banking, debit cards, overdraft protection. Those would be some of the things you would choose from whenever you were opening an account.
And then, of course, it's very important to keep up with your account. So what are some of the penalties for, let's say, going into overdraft or something like that?
So all banks have overdraft fees, and those can add up really quick. You really want to make sure you pay attention to your account. We have online banking that you can use to check your account regularly. We have check registers where you can write down physically, if you're not into using your phone, to add and subtract those transactions and make sure you're not using money you don't have.
It seems like some of the most important things to remember is that just because you spend that money right then doesn't mean that it automatically comes out of your account, that it can be delayed. So it's important to keep track of those stuff.
Exactly. If you write a check, those are paper. They don't come out immediately. They're not electronic. So just whenever you pay that person, whenever they decide to take it to their bank and deposit it or cash it, that's when that money's going to come out. So you really want to keep up with if you've wrote a check, if it's cleared or not.
And how much is a typical overdraft penalty?
They're usually around $30. Here at the Bank of Fayetteville, they're $31.
So let's say that if you went to McDonald's and spent $5 and then went and bought gas and then went to a Walmart and then went to the movies, you're going to get dinged
every time you go negative. Every item that comes through that takes you negative, that's 31, 31, 31. So you could spend $5 on a burger, but you get a $31 overdraft fee, you're buying a $36 burger.
So it's very important to remember those types of things.
Right.
Okay. And it's also you really have to pay attention to those types of things, because especially now in our modern day culture where we're getting usually paid through direct deposit, just because you're used to maybe that deposit coming in at midnight or something like that, it's better to wait until that money is in the bank
exactly
before you spend it.
Yes, because there's times when things are delayed. For some reason, your direct deposit might not have came through, something to do with your employer. So you always want to check and make sure you have money before you're spending money.
Looking at our modern world where we have debit cards and online shopping and so many other things, what are some ways that people can do to be able to protect their account?
So there are ID theft protection agencies you can sign up for. They monitor more of your social for that kind of identity fraud, not necessarily debit card fraud, but they let you know whenever someone's tried to use your social to sign up for something, so that way you can see if someone has your information. You don't want to share your debit card PIN number with anybody. Make your online banking passwords real secure and change them often. Make sure you keep track of your statements, and if you see anything that's weird on there, notify the bank immediately, and we can look more into it and see if it is something. A lot of people can hack websites, so online shopping can be dangerous. Things you can do to avoid that, you can get like prepaid cards and load them with money. That way, they're only getting that money from that prepaid card, not all the money that you have in your account.
Is there anything else that you might be able to think of, just some of the basics about checking, savings, banking?
I can tell you a little about the difference between a checking and a savings.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the checking account is generally going to be the account you use to spend your money. So you would have your deposit go in there. You can have a debit card, so you can make debit card transactions. You can set up bills with your routing and account number to automatically come out. You can get checks and write checks to people. A lot of people like to write checks because it keeps a good record, and they can put notes on there. So that's generally what a checking's for. The savings would be to save your money, exactly how it's titled. Maybe you're wanting to pay for college or you're wanting to buy a vehicle. So you could just put money back in that savings and keep it in there and not touch it, because they are regulated. You can only take from them so many times a month. So it's a good way to keep your hands off of it.
Cool. Is there a way to link your savings and checking account so that if you do happen to maybe go into overdraft, it automatically pulls out of your savings?
Yes. Well, on the online banking, there's an option to transfer. So if you go negative, you can transfer from your savings to your checking. And if you get that covered within business hours of a bank, then you won't end up with those overdraft fees.
So when somebody comes in and makes a deposit, for example, I'm assuming it's always best to have their account with them, make sure they know their account number, or carry their card with them.
It is handy for people that do have their account numbers. There's people with the same name as you. It's good to know the last four of your social, because that's a way to verify you. But the best thing is to have your account number, so you make sure that the money is going into your account, because mistakes can happen.
Okay. Awesome. All right. I can't think of anything else.
Okay.
Thank you very much
Yeah.
for visiting with us today and helping us with Cards Life 101.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks again for joining us on Cards Life 101, and special thanks to Sonja Coker and the Bank of Fayetteville Farmington branch for helping us out. We'll see you next time.